Hello Aries, and welcome to your August monthly horoscope for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please also link with me on Twitter at Horoscope Ace. You can ask me any question, I will answer. Or please also join Elisa and I for the daily astrology and tarot show to grab your free daily horoscope and an overview of what's going on each day astrologically, and Elisa gives a more spiritual dimension. It's proven great fun, really popular, and the link's beneath this video. We'd also be delighted if you become one of our patrons. At $3 a month, it's 1 cent a day, and it would be great to have you along. And we do offer extra information to our patrons. Now, Mars, of course, is in your sign through till the 6th of January next year and is going to be hugely influential in this new month. And the month begins with the Sun in the sign of Leo, which of course is your sister fire sign. And for you, this is about being self-expressive. But initially, there's a little bit of a maybe tongue-tiedness because Mercury, the planet of communication, is coming to the end of its 10-week journey through the sign of Cancer, which has been more introspective, but fortunately does move on the 5th into Leo too. So you've got a more outgoing, bubbly and exuberant energy coming through. But on the 3rd, we do have a full moon in the sign of Aquarius, which for you is very much about friendship. But this full moon T-squares Uranus, the planet of surprises, which is in your 2nd solar house. If this seems to ring a bell, it's because it's the mirror of what happened at the start of February when we had the full moon in Leo, and that opposed the Sun in Aquarius, but again, it T-squared Uranus. So I think when it comes to your friendships, your group interaction, your longer term plans, Aries, I do feel that your values are going to come much more sharply into focus. And if there is somebody who doesn't seem to share your standards, I think Uranus could push you to make some more impulsive decisions about those involvements. You may also want to splash the cash more spontaneously on something that you've aspired to for some while. Now, the first 10 days of this month also see your ruler, Mars, in a square with Jupiter, the planet of growth. Now, Mars is in its home zone, but Jupiter's not in its best zone. When these two are squaring normally, it can kind of see us be a little bit too ambitious. Maybe we sort of hype ourselves up a bit too much. So if you are wanting to pitch for a job or to push yourselves forward for some kind of promotion, you need to be able to walk the talk this month, because not does Mars just challenge Jupiter, it also squares up with Pluto from the 5th through to the 21st, and then it's also in the last 2 weeks of this month in a square with Saturn, which actually could be quite challenging in some ways. I think what this basically means for you is that although there is this more exuberant, outgoing, friendly and warm energy building up in the sign of Leo, when it comes to how you output your desires in terms of the wider world, you need to find a balance between your individual need for recognition, which comes through Mars, and how that's going to fit together with the people that you may have to reach into in order to get the recognition that you want. If they see you as being a bit too forceful, pushy or boastful, that it actually could be really quite counterproductive. So finding the right balance between your enthusiasm and drive and how that's perceived by those in positions of influence is going to be a big trick to follow this month. Now, the 7th sees Venus move out of the sign of Gemini, which of course it's been in since the 4th of April. And of course it went through that long retrograde, and now it emerges into the sign of Cancer. This is a lovely location for Venus, and it could see you becoming much more mindful of your immediate home environment. So this may see you doing some home decoration, enjoying your garden. If you have got somewhere that you can visit to walk or exercise or to spend time with people socially, if COVID allows, I do feel that you'll want to be in some kind of very pleasing and soothing natural setting if possible. Now the 11th through to the 21st sees a stunning angle. The Sun in Leo forges a brilliant link to your ruler. And whereas the planets in Capricorn can challenge you if someone feels threatened basically by what you have to say and what you have to offer, the link with the Sun is much more enabling. It's about as good as it gets when it comes to taking action in a well-balanced way. And because you're both fire signs, it means you can really find just the right focus to push something forwards from the 11th through to the 21st, which really can see you make significant progress. The 15th, however, does see Uranus go into a retrograde. If your financial situation has been a bit choppy since the middle of May 2018, but particularly this year with COVID, I think you're being asked in some ways to perhaps rethink. Uranus is the planet of innovation, and even if you have been trying some new approaches, because everybody's situation has been affected so radically, you may need to stay even more flexible in order to bend and flex in order to get what you can in terms of income coming into your situation, and that may mean trying some completely fresh approaches on top of some recently tried fresh approaches. Now on the 19th we do have a new moon in the sign of Leo, which is terrific because this is all about passion, it's about warmth, it's about generosity of spirit, it's about creativity. It could be good for your love life if you're hoping to meet somebody new, and it also feeds into your ruler. So the following month can really see you feeling very alluring, very attractive, and making some very dashing moves, which can bring some goodness to you. But from the 20th, we do see a change of emphasis. Mercury makes a quick switch, arriving back home in the second sign it governs of Virgo, and it's going to be there through to the end of the month. It's joined by the Sun on the 22nd. Now, the Sun and Mercury being in the sign of Virgo brings a much more precise environment to bear. The exuberance of Leo makes way for how it all works. So if you do come up with some good ideas, now you reach a time when it's form and function. And that more functional side of things is going to become very important. But actually in the last week of this month, Mercury forges an awesome angle with Jupiter. So if there is something that you're wanting to change, and it is to do with your worldly interactions or your work, this can be a fabulous time for you because you can now get just the right balance between the big picture that Mars has been pushing you towards all month, but now you can get the finer details in place which can make those in the know much more receptive to what you have to say. But from the 27th through to the 31st, we do see Venus in an opposition with Pluto. So if someone does offer you something in terms of a job-related situation, and they seem eminently charming, I would be eminently careful about what's in store for you, because it's much better if someone's much more business-like than if they're much more personable in terms of drawing you to an opportunity. Because when Pluto's involved with Venus in any kind of leverage way, as it is in this opposition, there can be some kind of catch which is not particularly obvious. So just to sum up, Aries, this can be a month where you can really show a lot of dash, a lot of self-confidence, but you need to balance that with the expectations of those who naturally tend to be in positions of authority. If you're somebody in a position of authority, you need to use your power wisely. But I think generally there is an opportunity, particularly on the back of your new moon, to push forwards in a very progressive, dynamic way. And you can come across as being very attractive, be it in a personal context, romantically, or in terms of your energy, which I think is really going to be quite galvanizing. Now, if you'd like to ascend above your zodiac sign and embrace more serious astrology, please check out my very affordable personal horoscope reports, which you can see beneath this video. You can get 30% off, a special offer, if you order your 12-month forecast and character analysis, or check out a one-to-one with me personally by seeing my testimonials below. But for now, take care, good luck, and stay safe.